Hey everybody, Seth Campbell here. Welcome back to Segway Plays Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. In the last episode, we took care of the trading quest, got ourselves several pieces of heart, and the magic armor, which of course uses magic but makes us invisible and purple. And we also took care of a few remaining side quests around Windfall Island, including getting ourselves the ownership deed to the private oasis, because Mrs. Marie apparently gives away islands when you give her jewelry. In this episode, you might think we'd be going straight to said oasis, but I think we're going to finish charting out some islands, or at least finish within the next 2 episodes charting out the islands of the Great Sea, just so we know where everything is and where to go. And like I said, I'm working off of big self-made checklists that I have here. So I have somewhat of a plan. Maybe we will get some Triforce charts along the way. First thing we're going to do is head due west, because there is an uncharted island that-a-way. Here is our local fishman. See what he has to say. Three, two, one. Hi, small fry! I hope you're all saying that with me at home by this point. Spectacle Island. Because it looks like spectacles, or because it is a spectacle? Beware the night when the crescent moon faces up. That's all I can tell you, small fry. That's all the info I got to offer. Spooky. Let's check out this spectacle isle for ourselves. Yeah. Better angle on that. These little crabs are back. Okay, nothing on us for the post box. What does the sign say? Head west from here to reach Mother and Child Isles. Okay, yep, we know that. Got another sign. Okay, this way to Northern Fairy Isle. This way to Northern Fairy Isle is to the north. Oh, the way to... I was going to say that didn't make sense. The way to Northern Fairy Isle is to the north. That makes sense. Let's see. So there is a structure of sorts here. Should also see if there's a treasure chart for this thing that looks like this island. But I'm not seeing one. Not yet, at any rate. Oh, that's right. It's our struggling, disinterested artist buddy Salvatore. Yes, he works out here too. And he has another little challenge for us. Ah! Oh, never mind. My mistake. Yeah, step right up. You have confidence in your target shooting, why don't you give this a shot? It's 50 rupees for game. Wanna try? Sure. Alright, now then. That guy looks familiar. Oh ho, so you're the little shrimp who thinks he's a target shooting hotshot, yeah? And you say this knowing full well that there are pirates who are so frightening that crying babies shut their mouths when we step into the room? Oh, that we are pirates. I can't read today. Huh, this should be funny. Fine then, hotshot. If you can manage to sink the 5 pirate ships you see off the horizon, we'll acknowledge your skills with a cannon, you shrimpy little landlubber. However, we won't tolerate any comments about how the pirate ships look like barrels. And you only get 10 shots, you heard me. You can move your cannon with the control stick and fire it with A. Watch the water plumes carefully where you fire, yeah? You got it, shrimp? I get it. If you manage to sink all 5 pirate ships, we'll give you all the treasure we've stolen up until now. Good luck to you, shrimp. You'll need it, yeah? Buddy, you better hope Gonzo never sees that or you're in trouble. Okay. Now, this is pretty much what he said. Shoot the barrels. Too far. Like, there's probably somebody who's figured out, like, the exact numbers and angles you got. You know, because you get that little distance marker in the lower right corner there. Someone who knows, like, the exact distance and such. I don't. So there's a chance this will take a couple tries. Ah! And essentially you got 2 shots per barrel, in which case, yeah, I've already failed. But you can take note to yourself of the general, how the numbers in the lower right seem to work. And obviously the lining them up is pretty self-explanatory. Oh, I might... Let's see, can I do it? Ah! So close! Oh. Too bad. 50 rupees per game. Want to try again? Sure. You managed to sink it? Yeah, okay. Already heard this. Alright. Music time. You know what? Cancel the music, cancel everything I just said. Because it seems the barrels get repositioned every time you play, so you can't take note of the numbers and such. You just have to get a good feel for it. So much for the knowledge ahead of time strategy. Okay, doing better this time. And the good news is, I'm pretty sure you only have to beat this game once. I don't think there's a high score or any of that nonsense. Okay, gonna have to go quite a bit farther. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Ah! Just a little bit short once again. Okay. Now some music. Gotcha! Whoa, nice shooting. But we won't hand over our priceless treasure so easily, yeah? Miss! Hey, miss!
Hey! Gonzo, you're this honorary member of my family, are you not? So act like it. Don't lose your head. You're a talented little kid. I like you. As we promised, here's our treasure. It's yours, so take it.
And if Tetra ever sees that, you can forget about Gonzo. She's gonna fire you out of that cannon, buddy. Yeah, no job at all. You can leave by the ladder behind you. Climb down in an orderly manner, if you please. Okay. Well, that's that. And I'm pretty sure you don't get any more prizes. Eh? No. Okay. Yeah, go again. Or not. Okay. Well, that's the cannon minigame taken care of, and I hope we don't have to come back and because I would be wrong in forgetting, and I don't want to do that again. But now we shall sail northwest. And I'll meet you when we see something interesting. Oh, actually, you know what? Beetle is here. So before we sail off too far, let's stop in, and hopefully he's selling some bait, because I could actually use some. Yep, he is. Oh, thank you as always. I appreciate your business. If you have anything to sell, show it to me. I'll buy it off you. Or would you prefer to buy something? All-purpose bait. Thank you. Yes, thanks to you. Oh, you saved up 30 points. You've earned a silver membership. We give a luxurious gift to all our silver members. It's the least we could do. I'll send it to you shortly. It should be arriving at a postbox near you any day. Promise me you'll wait anxiously for it. Next, try to earn our gold membership. Bye. Okay, so there's a level higher, but at least we'll get something good from this, so we can look forward to that. Arriving in a mailbox. Now we're going to set sail off to the northwest. And I will meet you whenever we find something. Well, here we are as we approach this island, and it looks like it may well be a reef, but it's a little hard to see through the driving rain. Oh, explosive barrels. Hope they didn't hurt the fish man. Oh, small fry. Let's see, where are we? Oh, no, it's Star Island. Okay, it just looks flat, I guess. Yeah, that somewhere out in the wide world is a handy arrow that can freeze anything. Something like that, you could even freeze that nasty monster in the Forsaken Fortress. For a while, anyway. But then, what would you do with a frozen monster, you say? Good question, Fry. I'd say you give that thing a whack and watch it shatter into teeny tiny pieces. That's all the info I got to offer. Yeah, I don't think we've actually done that. We might have at some point. You can freeze enemies with an ice arrow. Oh. That's what happens if you hit a barrel. But yes, so you can use... We've used fire arrows in battle, I know that. I don't know if we've used ice arrows, but you can freeze some enemies and take a couple of whacks at them. Which is handy. Oh, too far, too far, too far, too far, too far. Let's see what we can lift from the seafloor today. Oh, I think that's it. Okay. Another silver rupee. Okay, that pays back the rest of the unnecessary cash spent at Windfall. So let's check out this here Star Island. See what secrets it has to offer. I'm going to check out that sea platform over there once we're done here. I should have set that down, not thrown it. See anything in there? Green rupee, not much. But there is a hidden cave. See, what about these other big ones? Anything? Ooh, blue choo-choo. We could actually use this. Alright, some more blue chew jelly, which is always good. Because it's rare. Die. And what about this one? I don't suppose there's another one? Yeah, that's right, we did, Were the mini blins inside the rock? Mini blins? I gotta get used to that. Because they weren't there until we blew up the rock, right? Am I imagining this? Because we did stop by this isle very briefly on our Save the Deku Trees quest. They just keep coming. There were an infinite number of mini blins, I think, hidden in that boulder. Oh, and apparently going into the water kills them. That's good to know, I guess. But we have another one of these caverns, and it seems there are a bunch of magtails of all things waiting for us. Kind of an odd place to find them. Yoink. I guess it's not really a yoink type of moment. Yoink is when you steal something from somebody. And now a couple of very synchronized, or they were very synchronized, Bokoblins. Of course, we don't need joy pendants anymore, so we don't need to use our grappling hook with these guys. And Moblins, we're going up the, well, no, I guess not, because then we would have had to start with mini blins. I guess we did that outside, so we're kind of going up the blin ladder here, over the magtails kind of break it pattern. Don't need to get any more skull necklaces anymore either. I mean, obviously, you know, you get more spoils, you can sell them to Beetle, you can get some extra rupees, that's all great. But in terms of needing them for quests, that's no longer an issue. And there we go. And it's another piece of heart, which completes another heart container. And that gives us 17 out of 20, which is not a reducible fraction. Be that as it may. Where is the King of Red Lions? Where are you, buddy? There he is. Right as dawn is breaking. And so we are now going to sail to our southwest. So I will see you when we get... Oh, no, we're not. We are not. Ignore that. Ignore that. First thing we're going to do is go over to this here. Oh, boy. Lots of exploding barrels. I want to check out this here sea platform, which appears to be somewhat southwest anyway. Always a good idea to check these things out. Okay, it does have cannons. We have a cannon as well. In fact, we just won a cannon minigame. I think, I'm pretty sure I just hit an oncoming bomb with one of my bombs and they blew up in midair, and that reminds me of a little story, actually. I remembered, as a kid, my grandmother is a big reader. She loves books. She was part of a book club in her little, the sort of little community she lived in at the time. And I remember her coming home from the book club, and she was just really mad at the book she had been reading, because in one of the climactic moments, it said, like the hero is chasing after the bad guy, and she's looking for him, and she fires a gun, and there's this big blinding flash, and then so the next paragraph in the book is, though she hadn't known it, had in fact been circling around her and fired his gun at the exact same moment, beating the odds beating odds of probably 1 billion to 1. The bullets had collided in midair. And I just remember she was so mad about it, because she had said it had been a great book, and then it just, to have something so unlikely and ridiculous as, the just plot convenience, just kind of ruined it for her. And I always kind of remember this, and many years later I saw a Mythbusters episode, and they showed how that could technically happen. It was incredibly unlikely, but it could happen. But I am also a fanatic reader, particularly of mysteries. And so many, many years later, here I am off in college. I got a bunch of books. And I'm reading, I had seen a TV series on TNT back when TNT had great mystery shows on it. I feel like there must be another canon here. I guess I got them all, and it didn't give me anything. Back when TNT had good mystery series, there's a series called King and Maxwell that it had David Tenney and Rebecca Romaine, and I think it was really good, and it only got one season, which I think was a big mistake on TNT's part. And that's a rant I could go on at length, but I'm going to save you that pain. But, and so I had started reading the books that had inspired the series. It was the novels by David Baldacci, a very prolific thriller mystery author, and I was reading a book called Our Game, spelled H-O-U-R, in case you're confused. And I get to the end of it, and the character of Michelle Maxwell is hunting down the bad guy, and all of a sudden, I see the paragraph. Though she hadn't known it, was at that moment circling around her, and had fired his gun at the exact same moment, beating the odds of probably 1 billion to 1. The bullets collided in midair. This was about, I want to say about at least 10 years later, if not more. And so just the bombs colliding there, it made me think of that. And that tower didn't really give us anything interesting, but it gave me an excuse to tell that story. Just because it's so fun. So that very night, because I read that paragraph while I was waiting to go to class at Berkeley. And so when I got home later that night, I called my grandmother and I said, "You're never going to believe this, but do you remember about 10 plus years ago. You were reading a book for book club, and she did in fact remember once I had brought it. Apparently she had forgotten that that's what the book was, but it really is a good book. And again, Mythbusters kind of gave some credence to it, and you should read it. And I realize now that something I said spoiled something about it, so I am actually going to remove a couple words of audio from what I said so that you can read the book and enjoy it yourself for the thoroughly enjoyable book that it is. But now we are at another uncharted island, and this one definitely is a reef. So if I can just find the fish man, we'll figure out which one this is. There he is. Four-Eye Reef. As a glasses wearer, I feel called out. Seen those weird rings of light that appear on the surface of the sea, haven't you, Small Fry? Did you know that some of those rings only appear at night? Didn't think so. And that's all the info I got to offer. Yeah, that's really nothing. But anyway, let's see. First of all, are there any treasure charts that we have that seem to depict Four-Eye Reef? I'm not seeing any. Nope. Okay. So, it is now time to clear out another reef. And I actually did think of a story this time. So I'll pass the time by telling a random story. So, common sense is not my strong point, as I'm sure you've figured out so far from this this Let's Play and just the stories I've told. But I am too gullible for infomercials. And if you think there's no such thing as being too gullible for infomercials, well, let me explain something to you. I needed a new blender recently, because the previous one I had was just really cheap, and I like to make smoothies. And just trying to make a normal smoothie following the recipe had essentially lunched this old thing, this old blender, and fried the motor. So, okay, it's broken, need to get a new blender. So I go online and I search, blender, I need a blender. And I find this blender that looks great. It's a, blender unit. It's several pieces. And I figured, okay, I could get another really cheap one and have it burn out on me like this one did, or I could get a slightly more pricey one that's, of better quality. So I found one that was of, better quality, and, several pieces, and had a lot of really good reviews, and everyone said this thing's great. So I order it, and it arrives a couple days later, and as I'm looking at this thing, I noticed that it doesn't have the word blender anywhere on the box. This, incidentally, it has the big red "as seen on TV" decal on it. So it's, it's one of these late night infomercial products, and it shows all the different pieces it has, and different, blades and cups and all sorts of things. So I'm starting to panic because I think I did something stupid again. I'm thinking I must have misread when I was ordering it. And so I start looking at the box. Nowhere does it say the word blender. I look in the manual, and it doesn't say blender anywhere except in one place. It said, "It's not a blender, it's an extractor." And I'm thinking, at this point, well, that doesn't help me. I wanted a blender. I ordered a blender. And it said this was a blender online. And I figured, okay, maybe I clicked the wrong thing. I somehow failed to notice something. I don't know. But I make stupid mistakes all the time. Again, you've probably seen that so far oh no! I guess I can't quite make that jump from there. You've probably seen in this Let's Play so far, I make stupid mistakes. So I figured I made another stupid mistake. But again, this was a slightly pricier unit. And so I'm, all mad, and I'm telling, my girlfriend and my parents are visiting. I really screwed up. I didn't get a blender. I got an extractor, and I'm like, what's an extractor? Like, well, what does it do? I'm like, well, apparently you put, food in it and it gives you liquid, but apparently you have to have liquid in there already, and so like I don't know. And like, well, you need liquid in a blender. Like, this is something that had never occurred to me for some reason. Like, but it specifically says it's not a blender. I spent all this money for something that should be a blender, and it says it's not a blender. And it was at this point that it was explained to me that was basically just a marketing gimmick. It's not just a blender. It's an extractor. It's like, it's not fast food. It's good food quickly. Obscure Seinfeld reference for those who get it. But, so the way that's supposed to work is you're supposed to convince people in a positive manner. It's not, like someone says, oh, nice blender. Like, no, it's not a blender. It's an extractor. But I was fooled too much because I wasn't thinking it's not just a blender. It's something better, I've seen on TV, but wait, there's more late night infomercials. I'm thinking, crud, it's not a blender. I wanted a blender. So that's a funny story of my recent escapades and cluelessness that has killed the time until we are done taking out all the cannons in this reef. And so let us claim our reward.
Yep.
Which is, of course, a treasure chart.
Yep.
And now that we have taken care of that, we are going to sail southeast. So I'll see you when we find something interesting. All right, we're back. And this is an interesting looking island. Strange rock formation. There's a treasure chart spot, which I will deal with in a moment, but I want to find the fishman first, so he can tell us. Oh, he's back there. He can tell us what this place is called. I should have just gone for the treasure chart while I was there, shouldn't I? But let's see what we got. Oi, small fry! This is Rockspire Isle. I wonder how long it's been since the light in Windfall's Lighthouse went dark. It was quite a grand sight, I tell you. The way the ray of light shone out like a shaft of gold through the cold darkness. I used to gaze at it with dear Jillian. Anyway, I bet if someone could shoot a powerful spark into the top of that lighthouse, it would light up again. Of course, that's just my intuition talking. Then again, you should never doubt a fish's intuition, small fry. If you say so. Who's Jillian? Oh wait, I think I actually know who Jillian is. I think if I'm remembering correctly, and again I'll have a little graphic notation of this on the screen. Jillian is the sort of pub slash coffee house barista on Windfall. So that means, at very least, she has a history of a friendship with this fish, and I hope that's as far as it goes. But, yeah, I suddenly have a lot more questions about the lady who runs the coffee shop. But anyway, let's pull up some treasure. It's another piece of heart, which is always very welcome. Now, the name Rockspire Isle, perhaps it rang a little bell somewhere in the back recess of your memory. Well, we got a letter at one point, I'm pretty sure, about a very special sale of rare items here. So, perhaps this boat that looks suspiciously like Beetle's boat, except his face is covered up, maybe this is where we can find that stuff. Well, this is interesting. Oh, a fine welcome to you, young person that I've never seen before. You're so lucky to meet me at this time. This shop will close in just 7 more days, and I'm having a clearance sale. Now, this boat will never, this shop will never actually close. I think it'll count down once you've seen it, but then it'll just stay open. I don't remember for sure. I don't know what. MSRP stands for something retail price. So yes, this person who is not Beetle, apparently, is selling these rare items for undisclosed prices. MSRP, I don't know what that means. I want to say like something standard retail price. Open price, current price. So he sells these rare items for a lot of money. This empty bottle is a mere 500 rupees. Buy it. Buy it. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. I don't even like that song.
Thank you!
Oh, thank you so much. You're happy, I'm happy, we're all happy. So, the other question I have is why these rare items are displayed on top of skulls. What has this guy, who may or may not be Beetle, what has he been up to? This piece of heart is only 950 rupees. Buy it, bye, bye, bye. So this is one of the things you wanted to have a lot of rupees saved up for. It's not the only thing, but this place here is definitely something you want to save up your money for. Current price. Just 900 rupees. Buy it, bye, bye, bye. Yep, so we are sinking a lot of money in this guy, but as you see, it's 3 very valuable items, and we're gonna have a lot less money now, so hopefully we're gonna find some more rupees. Preferably, whoa. It just jumped down as we left. We're down to 653. We haven't been that low in quite a while. But this is one of the things you want to save up rupees for. Now, that has been taken care of and that mysterious masked man has sold us all of his wares, let's check out this here Rockspire Island, shall we? Well, there's a bunch of big rocks, and they are perched atop platforms that we cannot stand on while the rocks are there. So what we have to do is flash back to some of the early dungeons and throw bombs just before they explode so that they will blow up the rocks. Oops, that was way too early. I wonder what that one down there is. To see if I can get that from up here. Oh, come on! That was too far away? Like I said, I'm not good at this. I'm really not good at this. Okay, there we go. A little more room to maneuver on this one. There we go. Okay, let's see. Maybe I can just set this down and it'll... Hey, pretty good. Let's see, is it... Oh, red rupee. Alright, well that's a start, making a little bit of the money back. It's a slow start, but it's a start. Ah! Okay, you know what? I'm gonna save you a few seconds of agony and just cut to when I finally reach that far platform. Here we are. To reach Western Fairy Isle, head west from here. Makes sense. Let's explore this cavern. It's certainly dark. And there are unlit torches. And some Boko sticks. So if you remember our rule that in a Legend of Zelda game, if there are unlit torches, you light them. Of course, this awakens a huge swarm of keys. You had to know that was too easy, right? Come on. That all of them? Yes. Okay. Yeah, bats are not creatures I'm personally afraid of. Like, just on sight, at any rate. Like, if one showed up in my house, which happened a couple of times throughout my childhood, you know, I probably wouldn't just walk up to it and start petting it, but I'm not afraid on sight the way I am with spiders. So, this game, I appreciate that it's only bats and not spiders, because other Zelda games would have spiders here. I'm looking at you, Twilight Princess. But anyway, we got a treasure chart, and ooh, now there is a blue choo-choo here. Which is nice. And I want to explore one more island, so we'll have done 5 Uncharted Islands in this episode, and hopefully the last 5 in the next episode. So we are going to go... Let's see, I want to figure out how the most efficient route to do this. We're going to go southwest. And I will see you when we find something. right, here we are. And I think I see Fishman already. Not another reef already, is it? It is. Yeah. There's some treasure there. That's good. Oi, small fry. Three-eye reef. I met a really weird guy on an island due east of here. He had a pack on his back bigger than, huger than any pack I've ever seen. I mean, it was B-I-G, Fry. He said he was looking for treasure, but what does he expect to find in a place like that? I tell you, the guy is completely obsessed. That's all the info I got to offer. Yep, that would be our Goron traveling merchant friend. The one on Greyfish Isle, so he has in fact found that treasure he was seeking. Now, is this boat gonna let me... Is this the one? It is, okay. I hope this cannon ship is gonna be just nice enough to let me, This is risky. But, I got it. And it's another piece of heart, which gives us 3. But it is now time to destroy another reef. Trying to think of another story I can tell to kill the time. Alright, you know what? I got one for you. I told this as part of a spoken story part for my writing and communications course at Berkeley, so should be well practiced. So, I've mentioned, I'm sure, my mentor's old band, The Brew, and the fact that I played with them a lot. I toured with them a bit. Unfortunately, they're no longer around, and they sold the name rights, so if you look up The Brew, the first band you'll probably find is not them. But anyway... So I was doing a tour with them. My mentor was the lead keyboard player, but he had busted up his arm, so he was still singing vocals, lead vocals, and everything, and playing backup guitar. But I was playing keys on this tour because his elbow was still healing. So, you know, it was sort of a cross-country tour, and we ended up playing at this place on the outskirts of Fargo. In North Dakota, and like there was nobody there because the downstairs part of the venue was also having a show, and that's where the only people anywhere near us were. You know, they all went to see this other band, so we're playing in the upstairs part of this bar for basically nobody. So it's a really goofy show. You know, we're having fun. We're doing songs we don't normally do, and I don't know what gave me the guts to do this. At this point in the night, it's late. It's, you know, we've done, the show's mostly over. We're up to about 11 people in the audience. And like 5 of them were employees of the bar. And so I say to Chris, my mentor, who's, again, lead keyboard player normally, but he's standing in front of me, he's holding a guitar. I don't know what gave me the guts to ask this, because I'm generally an unassuming person. I said, I've got an idea. Could I try singing lead vocals when we play Double Vision? These guys were great at doing arrangements of classic songs. When they did a cover, they didn't just do like a sound-alike. They made it their own. And so, for some reason, I had the guts to say, you know, maybe, like, because I figured at this point the show is essentially a throwaway. You know, we don't need to impress anybody there. Everybody there is intoxicated or an employee, or both. And so the guys deliberate for a minute, and they say, you know, sure, why not? We got nothing to lose at this point. So, I figure, okay, this is, my big chance to sing lead vocals with the Brew, and I'm super excited. And the one thing, though, is the rest of the guys in the band, they like to curse a lot, just kind of for fun, and I didn't. I'm not much for cursing when I feel it's crud, fell off the side of the wall. Well, it gives me more time to tell the story. I'm shy about cursing when I feel it's unnecessary, like, generally speaking. So sometimes these guys would rearrange lyrics and throw some extra words in them, and they did that with one line in Double Vision. There's this line, "Time I had a good time, got no time to waste." I don't know if you know, there's a Foreigner song, it was a big hit. But the way they sang it, and I'm going to edit this slightly, is, "Got no fucking time, I got no time to waste." And so I figured, okay, and they had written, because this was one of the things they would do when they did a cover, these incredible 3-part vocal harmonies, 4-part vocal harmonies for all the lines, and it just made this incredible sound. So I figure, okay, they're going to be singing the harmonies still. We'd played this song many times, so it was part of our regular set. They're going to be singing the harmonies, and they're going to sing that, so I have to sing that as well. I can't, back out of this. They're letting me sing lead, so I have to go ahead and sing that. And I do. I belt out that one word, that particular 4-letter word is part of that line, loud as I can. And none of them sang the harmonies because they didn't think I was going to say it. They didn't think I was actually going to sing that particular word because they knew me. They knew me. I was kind of shy about cursing. So they just assumed, okay, he's not going to do it, so we won't do the harmonies on that line. And they all kind of assumed this. And the look of shock on their faces when I did that, and they all just start laughing maniacally. Aaron, the drummer, almost fell off his stool. He had to keep the beat. And so they're all just looking at me like, wait, did he just do that? And so that was just a super fun show, and I've got, even for a show for nobody in the middle of nowhere, late at night, it's one of my fondest memories of playing music with those guys, and it brings a smile to my face to this day. So maybe just the idea of that will bring a smile to your face as well. And now we've got our treasure chart. Story time ends when we get our treasure. So we have discovered 5 new islands. We've gotten a few pieces of heart, a couple of treasure charts. I say that's a good amount for this episode, so we'll call it here. And in the next episode, if everything goes according to plan, we will chart out these last 5 islands in the Great Sea, and that will leave us free to search out and collect everything we want to. So I'll see you next time.